Well, another day, another incident that make me wonder, why do people do what they do? What about society that affect people's behavior? The story we're beginning about today is of a doctor whose white coat became a red flag. Basically, it's about a doctor who, instead of wearing his white coat, decided to wear nothing at all. Join me as we scatter the yarns of this story together. And I must give a quick disclaimer: it's a serious conversation that is not for the easily offended. All right. So please press the like button, subscribe if you're new or yet to do so, and leave your own comments on the discussion today in the comment section below on our socials. Thank you very much. Let's scatter the yarns. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another session of Scatteryan, where we discuss how society affects people's behavior. I'm your guy, Toves. Hope you're having a beautiful and fantastic day. If you're not, I hope something comes your way that makes you smile. In today's particular topic, it's an interesting one, another scandal, another behavior that makes people to wonder what is wrong with people. Right. So before we go into it, let's start from the basic, right? All of us as a society, even before we are born, have decided what professionalism means, right? I know even the definition of professionalism has been reviewed in the last couple of decades, but the basic is still the basics. Some of the things that have been reviewed include that you can't smoke in the offices anymore. Depending on your country, women don't need to wear high heels to be considered professional, right? Obviously, unless you feel comfortable wearing it. But yeah, there are so many other things that even in Scatayan podcast, we've had a conversation discussing Gen Z and the workplace culture, how they're changing dress code and what used to be considered formal wear is no longer formal wear. So this kind of things, this kind of conversation make you to wonder what is the naked truth of the difference between self-expression or personal expression and professionalism. So basically, where is the boundary between personal expression, self-expression, and professionalism? And let's talk about the story now, right? But before I do, we know that doctors are meant to heal. They're not meant to reveal, right? They're not meant to unlayer themselves to reveal. And the white coat is meant to be a symbol of authority, of trust, of professionalism. And it's not a free pass of, walking around your own clinic naked, right? Bear with me. Let me share this story with you. So I'm going to read the story from a US website called WDBJ7.com. Ignore the BJ7, all right? WDBJ7.com. And the headline is Shocking Video Shows Doctor Walking Around Nude Performing Sexual Act in Front of Workers. And I'm not going to show all of the video. I'll show from an Instagram account called the neighborhood talk. So just a quick one. um Pressing play, you can see the doctor there, just on his phone, butt naked, with nothing but a hat, really, just walking in between halls. Came into the reception area of the clinic. Yep, walking, that's butt naked. Obviously they cannot show that on Instagram or on most places. Walking butt naked. And there, if I pause here, there seem to be like three ladies as well. There's one over there in the purple, there's one here that's a patient, and another one there, right? So that's where I'm going to stop the video for now. Let's read the news story. Right. So it says a newly released video shows an Arkansas doctor walking around nude and performing a sexual act in front of his workers. An investigation was launched after a complaint sent the medical board videos of David Diffine walking around his Blightville practice in the nude. According to documents from the Freedom of Information Act request, blah, 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 the footage was taken in 2019 by surveillance video at Diffin Family Practice in Blightville. So basically, his own practice, he was walking around it naked. The doctor can be seen walking around naked, including the hallway between patients' room. One of the video clips showed Diffin walking around the receptionist's office naked in front of three women. He performed a sexual act directly on one of the women. Iyama. According to the documents obtained from the medical board, the woman not only worked in Diffin's office as a lab tech for another company, but was also one of his patients. So basically, the woman is working like an agent or a contractor, working in the guy's office, but also the guy's patient. Now, according to the person who sent the video, who sent the board the videos, all of them were taken during business hours. So it's not like he's doing it in the night or nothing. Speaking about professionalism, they claim that Diffin used his position of power. Yeah, they claim Diffin uses his position of power, sexual grooming, salary increases to groom employees and patients into repulsive sexual acts. So basically, he pays them and gives them pay rises. And then they suspended his stuff in July. An Arkansas Department of Health investigator interviewed Diffin in September by phone. Diffin was informed there was video evidence of his actions. And he replied, I don't know anything about that at all. I would have to see those things to have any idea what you're talking about. And still in the report, this isn't the first time the Arkansas State Medical Board has investigated Diffin. Earlier this year, someone complained about what Diffin calls his naturist activities, right? That's what he calls what he does. In the January complaint, the board was informed that Diffin was posting nude photos of himself on social media accounts. The complaint included screenshots from one of Diffin's now deactivated Instagram accounts at naked.dr. Daves, right? Yeah. And in Diffin's response to the medical board, he said he is a naturist and his accounts are well known to the naturist community. He cited the practice as promoting acceptance and body positivity. We do not shame, sexualize, fear, or negatively stigmatize the naked body, he said in his letter to the board. Okay, that's where I'm going to stop it. All right. So basically, you have the essence of the story. He was recorded walking around naked, performing sexual acts, even spilled one on a lady, a woman who was supposedly working in the office and a patient of his as well at the time. And the reason why he's able to get away with it reportedly is because that he increases their pay, gives them pay rise, and offer them money, offer patients money, and that allows him to do what he does. All right. So here's my question for you, right? We've seen the reported excuse that he gave. He said that he was doing his naturist activities, right? I'm sure that's a fancy way of saying I got caught with my pants down, literally. Um, and also his staff. Speaking about professionalism, his staff didn't need a uniform policy. They needed blindfolds because if you're working in that kind of place, if the doctor is naked all the time, yeah, you need to have some blindfolds. Now, do you think, jokes aside, do you think there's ever a valid excuse for this kind of behavior? Where is the line, right? He said he's doing his nudist stuff. So, is self-expression an excuse for breaking societal norms? That's the question I have for you guys at this point in time. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below, or you can DM me following the social media link in the description below. Is self-expression an excuse for breaking societal norms? Now, allegedly, this doctor wasn't just walking around naked through his clinic. He was grooming his employees, his patients, using money and job perks to manipulate them into accepting his behavior. And what's that old saying from Spider-Man? With great power comes great responsibility. And the one I prefer to use is in the Gospels, to whom much is given, much is expected. But I think that works against my argument this time because obviously it's giving people lots of cash, so it's expecting a lot in return. So let's go to the Spider-Man one. With great power comes great responsibility. I think that guy, this Dr. David Diffin, must have skipped that lesson. Now, most of us will agree that this Dr. Diffin, instead of practicing medicine, he is practicing manipulation. And you can call that a malpractice. Right. Inside joke. Hope you got it. Anyways, now the question then becomes, why do you think some of those women and patients felt pressured to comply? Is it fear? Is it dependency? Or do you think they were in shock because they did not believe the situation they found themselves in the first place? Like the woman in the reception who was spilled on. I don't think she was expecting that, right? You know, most doctors prescribe medicine, but this one is just prescribing trauma to different people, to his patients and to his employees. Or imagine being the receptionist and the receptionist says, "Hey, good morning, Mr. Johnson." Or sorry, good morning, Dr. Johnson. And it's like, oh wow, that's a lot of Johnson. Yeah, I should be making jokes. It's a serious conversation. Well, it's a podcast. Let's chill, man. Also, we have to remember that the doctor didn't need a stethoscope to manipulate hearts, just a fat paycheck. Okay, that's the last of the joke for now. All right, let's come back to serious conversation. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt powerless to speak up? And on the other hand, how do we hold people in power accountable without creating a culture of fear? For me, that's the key question. It's tricky. And also remember, it's not the first time we've seen this kind of abuse of power. I remember having Weinstein and Louis C.K. in the 2020 Me Too era, the Me Too movement in prime lockdown. Right now, different industries, entertainment industry, and now a medical industry, right? Different industries, same story. Powerful men using their position to manipulating and exploiting others. I'm not saying it's limited only to men, all of the anti-feminist people in the listening, right? But it seems like people think that their successes make them untouchable, or because they have something to offer, they can do whatever they want. And because people are accepting what they're offering, that's the key one for me. They offer something, and because people accept what they offer, they think that is consent, and that makes it acceptable. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Now I can hear one or two people saying, like I feel it, I feel like I can hear them saying that why do people agree to things that they clearly don't want to do? For example, they'll probably also say that the women are not victims, they know what they're doing, they've accepted cash, or acting role in the case of Harvey Weinstein, or a comedy gig in the case of Louis C.K. etc. Right? But they'll be saying it's easy to just say no, but I don't think it's that easy to say no, because if there's a fat paycheck or a promotion or a save your safety is on the line, it's not so simple because your life is dependent on it. That is why power dynamics matter. It's not always about physical force. Sometimes it's about psychological pressure. Right. Now, sometimes when a paycheck comes with strings attached, sometimes those strings are nooses. They hook you. So I'm going to say this to myself and to whoever is listening. When you climb the ladder of success, don't forget it's not an excuse to step on anyone below you. Now, if you were in the shoes of the employees or the patients, what would you do? For me, I'm not letting anyone do any sexual act on me. Right? I don't know. I don't. I Yeah. Let me not say too much. I'm not going to tolerate it. Is all I'm going to say. Either I'm going to call the authorities, or I'm going to respond with something equal and proportionate, not a co-sexual act. Okay. I'm just going to respond with a force that is equal and commensurate. Plus, please don't quote me on that. I don't know what I'm going to do. But what would you do if you were in this situation? Could you stand up to someone who holds so much power over your life, or would you feel trapped? You let me know what you think. Again, I can hear some people or other people this time saying, hey, Dr. Toves, naturism is a valid lifestyle. Why are you judging? Why are you trying to castigate someone that's living this naturist lifestyle? But for me, I'm like, you can go and hug a tree, you can go and sunbathe in the nude, you can go to a nudist colony, you can go to a nudist beach, whatever floats your boat, but not during office hours. Like I said, so as a society, we have agreed and defined what is professional. Yes, it is your practice, but the other people working independent and expecting a societal compliance in the office. Again, that's why there's the debate, personal expression, professionalism. Where is the boundary? But please do not let your naturist activities turn to harassment like this doctor did. Because I would say this wasn't naturism, it was nature's biggest mistake. On a serious note, why do people as a society accept something that is seen to be bad? Like these women are working there casually. Right, I'm sure that's not the doctor walks around this office every day and every day and every day. Yes, increase their paycheck, but why are they sitting there casually? So again, it calls to question, what do we as a society accept? Like, does money always decide what we accept? Does money define morality? Does money decide whether people can step on us or not? You let me know what you think. It's a valid conversation. I would like us to have. You let me know what you think in the comment section, or DM me in our social media platforms. I'd like to hear your takes. As usual, I like to round up with some would you rather. I have 3 would you rathers for this particular episode, and they are tough ones. I will start with now, if there's only one doctor in your city, just one doctor, would you rather walk into that doctor's office and find them naked or find out they are not actually licensed? If there's only one doctor in your entire city, would you rather walk into that doctor's office and find them naked or find out they are not actually licensed? Which situation would you rather be in? I, for one, would rather be in a situation where he's naked. I don't want an unlicensed doctor. I don't know if they have the ability to treat me, basically. But you let me know what you think. Second, would you rather question, would you rather work for a creepy boss who pays you well or a boss who underpays you? Would you rather work for a creepy boss who pays you well or for a boss who is kind and underpays you? That's a tough one. Like I said, they say do's are these ones. Right, based on lifestyle, everyone wants to live well. Creepy boss, man. Creepy boss. Again, that's why I don't virtue signal, because you don't know what people are going through. That's what I would choose. And I'm hoping that you guys that are going to be saying, why did the women not walk away, blah, blah, blah. I hope you're going to choose a kind boss who underpays you. I hope so. And the last would you rather question is, would you rather get a big promotion but have to keep a terrible secret, or stay at the bottom of the ladder with a clean conscience? Would you rather get a big promotion but have to keep a terrible secret, or stay at the bottom of the ladder with a clean conscience? You let me know what you rather do. You can think about it or send me a DM on our social media in the description below. So, what have we learned today? First, professionalism matters. Second, power dynamics are real and they are dangerous. And third, whether you're a doctor or a movie mogul or just someone with influence, using your position to exploit others is never okay. Also, as members of society, we have a role to play on this. Depending on the way we glorify authority, whether we tolerate certain red flags or shame victims into silence, if we want to stop these kind of stories from happening again in future, we need to start asking better questions. And we need to start holding people accountable. Remember, the Hippocratic oath that doctors that doctors take says, "Do no harm." Maybe we should all take a similar oath in how we treat each other. This has been Scatteryan Podcast. Thank you for listening in. As always, please, if you enjoyed the episode, any part of the episode at all, please press the like button. Subscribe if you're new or yet to do so. What are you waiting for? And leave your own comment in the comment section below. Until the next episode, I'm going to say stay safe, stay curious, ask questions, question everything, and use your brain. SCFR. Peace.